So this is an example of a pedigree. This is very similar to what they do when they're breeding dogs, or we can look at it for humans. If we look at, like here would be me, this is not me in this case, but if this is me, then in a pedigree, on this same line right here, I would have my brothers or sisters, and then this line right here means that we come from our mother and our father. So our father and our mother, they combine gametes and they come up with me and my two sisters. And so then if I look at my father's parents, so the grandfather and the grandmother come together to make the father and to make this aunt and this uncle of mine. We're tracing here these traits through several generations of family members. So we can see how we would mark this with a color if it's exhibiting the trait, and we would just leave it blank if it's not exhibiting the trait. So this is something that would not be sex-linked, because here you see it showing up in females and showing up in females and showing up in males. So whatever it is, whatever the trait of interest is, it's not sex-linked, and it is being passed down from the father's side. And the reason we know that is because nobody on mom's side seems to show up with that characteristic, but we have here an aunt and here a first cousin that has it. So that's often how we can tell where we got our traits from, which side of the family they come from. So you can do that with any type of species. So the reason why breeders value pedigreed horses and dogs so much is because they know exactly what they're going to get from the offspring. If you look at a pedigreed dog, if you cross together an AKC Rottweiler with another AKC American Kennel Club Rottweiler, then you know that in the parents and the grandparents and the great-grandparents, going back generations, you know there were all Rottweilers in that family. And so when you cross together your Rottweiler with another AKC Rottweiler, you know the only thing that you're going to possibly get is a purebred Rottweiler. If you mix together a purebred Rottweiler with another dog and you don't know its genetics, then you don't know exactly what it is that you're going to get when you mix those together. So the reason that they are so expensive, if you go in and you get a pedigreed puppy, is because you can trace the lineage so far back. You know exactly where the genes came from, because it's all been a matter of record. With horses, you know that the fastest parents have been put together time after time, breed after breed, and so you know that if you put together a very fast father and a very fast mother that are both champions, that you are very likely to get an offspring that's going to be a champion. And so they put lots of time and money and resources into training the things that they know have the characteristics that they are looking for. So it's just interesting to be able to trace those things. I can actually trace my family back to the Mayflower. So my parents have like all the records where the Hollingsworth side of the family came over on the Mayflower. It's actually in like the decree, the ship manifesto. Yeah? Okay. So we can actually trace that Hollingsworth back through all of those times back to the Mayflower. But my mom's side of the family, we can't actually trace back very far because we don't know where certain grandparents came from. So if I wanted to, though, I could take one of those genetic tests. Have you ever heard of like the 23andMe, where you can send in a cheek swab and they'll tell you like what % of your ancestry comes from the Middle East or from Japan or from China. You can find out where exactly your ancestors came from. And I think that that's really interesting. My friend just did this, and he actually found out that he was like 11% Neanderthal. And so he actually could trace his genes back to Neanderthal genes, which is really interesting.